Hey, what's going on, guys? Alright, so I actually questioned myself whether or not I wanted to do this video, but I've had a few people asking me some questions about traps and everything else, and a lot of people asking how they set larger conibears like the 220. So I wanted to show you a little trick that I do to set mine. Like I said, I kind of questioned whether or not I wanted to do this, but you guys are all adults, you can make your own decisions. I recommend that you use the trap setters. But this is a trick that you can use. It's very safe, but some people don't necessarily like it. Squeak in the background is the windmill, so you're going to have to forgive the noise. But anyway, so let me show you how I set the 220 conibear. Okay, now before you go setting this thing, do me a favor. If you've never set one of these before or messed with these, start with a 110. The 110 is, you know, if you snap it on a finger or something, you know, most of the time it won't actually break your finger, but it can. Don't get me wrong, it can. This, on the other hand, if you snap a finger in this, you're certainly going to break it. If you snap your hand in it, you're more than likely going to fracture your hand in multiple places. And if you go up a size, you know, to the 330s, things like that, there's no question you're going to mess yourself up. So please be very, very careful when you mess with this thing. So all you're going to need to do is lay the conibear out just like this. You're going to have the dog and trigger up on the very top, okay? Let me zoom in so maybe you can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, instead of having these on the underside, have them facing up. Then the next thing you're going to need is just a piece of rope, or in this case a piece of paracord. Doesn't have to be ultra long, maybe the span, your arm span and length. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn your conibear up, facing away from you. At this point the trigger is facing away from you and on the bottom side. You're going to put your foot on the inside of the trap. This is safe. The trap does not spring this direction, so even if something was to go wrong, it is impossible for it to get your foot at this point. Now, with your hank of paracord or length of rope or anything, you're going to double it over itself to where you have a loop like this. Now at that point you're going to run your loop through this part of the conibear. Then you're just going to continue, run it through the other loop of the spring. Now you're going to run this end through the loop so that it cinches on itself just like that. Now you're going to double it over your hand a couple times, and all you're going to do is pick up on the rope, and that's actually going to pull the spring up. At the same time, you are going to help yourself with this hand here. So as I pull up, you can see how easy that was to pull that trap into place. And I'm just going to double it over my hand a few times so that I'm very close. Now with this free hand, I'm going to come over and I'm going to grab my safety hook, and I'm going to put my safety hook into place. Now I'm not letting go with this hand. I'm going to keep this hand on it. I'm not going to be putting a lot of pressure on it because I want that pressure to be put on that hook so that way it does not release. So I'm going to take the tension off my rope, pull it out, set it aside. Now I'm going to move over to the other side of the conibear. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing. Double your rope over, run it through the spring, double it over itself, cinch it over your hand, pull up, bring your safety hook down, engage it, let the pressure off, again while keeping your hand on it, take the tension off and pull your rope out. Okay, now this is the part where you need to be absolutely 100% aware of what you're doing, because if you drop the ball for just a second, you're going to be in a world of hurt. So after you've locked your springs into place, the tension has now been taken off of the actual trap itself. So we're going to come in here and we're going to close this up. Now keep your hands held on this thing as you're setting it, because if the springs release, at least you will be able to hold this with your hand. Basically all you're going to do is load it just like that. Now before you let go of this section here, grab your spring and hold it in place and safely move your hand out of the way. Now it's loaded, but the safety hooks are still in place. Come in here, keeping your hand away from the trap, put a little tension on there, pull the hook out. That one fell out of place. Now this thing is locked and loaded and ready to put a hurting on something. So a little animal comes in, like I said, world of hurt. Alright guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Now like I said, please be careful setting these things. You can severely hurt yourself, so please be very careful. And don't take your eye off the ball, because if you do for 1 second, you're going to break a finger or worse. So, as always guys, have a good one.